Hi everyone, welcome to Rike Sports Formula One show and preview for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix with Ollie from F1 Global. Hi Ollie, how are you?
I'm good, mate. How you doing?
Good, thank you. Good, thank you. So as always, let's take a look back at last weekend's race. What a race it was. It wasn't actually that great a race until all incidents towards the end. So looking back at the start, first of all, brilliant start from Russell. He had a brilliant all-round weekend. We'll go into how unlucky he was later down the line. But first of all, the start was amazing. He overtook Bottas there, got the lead and really controlled the race. Then, unfortunately, later on in the race, all the chaos happened. Tell me your thoughts on it.
I mean, I think you've summed it up well. I don't think the race was particularly good, but there were so many little elements that made it an amazing race. And Russell, yeah, I think the most unlucky driver on the grid for that weekend. I mean, he should have won, he could have won, and he would have won. I think that's for sure. I don't think there's any doubting that he would have been on the top step. Just super unlucky, and I mean, he'll be happy to get points on the board, monkey off his back, I suppose. But yeah, to have Mercedes mess up like that is so rare, and we do not see it. And the last time was obviously in Germany, and even then it was just a long pit stop. It wasn't a mistake with the wrong tyres on the car, but yeah, just super unlucky. But you're 100% correct. That start was unbelievable, and we're going to get onto it, I think, but Bottas has some questions to answer about that start as well. I get later on there were tyre differences, but that start, you can't allow that to happen. But what about qualifying? I mean, you pretty much called it. You said you thought he could get pole, and he nearly did. So yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I was really impressed with him all weekend. He came out Friday practice firing, top both Friday practice sessions. It's only practice, but still it's putting down a statement, put down a marker that, I'm here, I'm competing. The pressure was on Bottas, and Bottas just scraped the pole. Like it was 200,000 of a second. It's nothing. It was close between all three. Verstappen was very close as well. And then, yeah, so going into the race, like, you'd have thought Bottas has got pole. He's got the more experience. He's more comfortable in the car. With Russell, it's obviously different car, the height of the seat, and we're talking about the pedals and everything. It was very hard for him. So over a race distance, that many laps, even if it's short laps, it was so many laps. So you would have thought the advantage would be all with Bottas, I was really impressed with Russell. Really, the start, amazing, man. The way he controlled the pace. And then that disappointed me. He came back, managed to get him the points. That shows a lot of maturity on him. I think he's going to be one hell of a driver. I think he has to take strength from that weekend. I know it's a negative in the end, the result, but he's got to take a lot of strength from that and say, yeah, I can do it in the big car against good drivers like Bottas. He's able to beat him, which is amazing. If you look at Hamilton as well, in his first season, he was very unlucky when he didn't win the World Championship. We know what happened in China. That was really unlucky, unfortunately. He should have really been the champion that season, but he took strength from that and done so well. What I'd really like to see now is, I don't know how they can do it, because I know they've given Bottas 1 year extension, but somehow if they could just pay Bottas off or whatever and get Russell into that car as Hamilton's teammate next season, what an amazing season we could look forward to. I think Russell, he's obviously not on the level of Hamilton, but he would give him more competition than Bottas would, I think. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that we always see, and we see it from Hamilton a little bit as well, but we always tend to see from Bottas is whenever they're in whenever Mercedes is a trailing car, they just can't overtake, or they struggle to overtake. I mean, you think back to maybe previous seasons, that's been an issue. I think, yes, it's rare for a Mercedes to be second or below, but I think on Monza this year, yeah, Hamilton did make those places up, but even he said it's difficult to overtake in this car. And that move that Russell did on Bottas, on, I think it was turn 4 or 5, just the S's, or the wiggly bit, as Carlos Sainz's engineer called it, which I think is the technical term. He showed he can make these overtakes. And my brain straight away actually compared him to Alex Albon in the Red Bull when he first jumped into that seat. The issue had been with Pierre Gasly. He hadn't been making overtakes, he hadn't been making moves. And Albon in Spa last year immediately made overtakes, really impressed everybody. And straight away, people knew he deserved that seat. And that has happened this weekend. The start was amazing. He held his own, and then just that overtake was unbelievable. And he climbed back and he's learned. And, you know, he's a brilliant guy. He's really humble as well, and he's made a joke of it already seen on media. So it's a real shame, but I don't think they will stop him. We've said before, Bottas knows this team. He knows this car. I want it to happen. I just want them to go, you have him, we'll have him. But
Yeah.
I just don't see it happening. Everybody wants it. And I think partly because we want to see Russell do well, but partly because it might spice up the season. But I don't think really Mercedes wants to risk that. The Lewis factor is still a big factor. He's got to be comfortable, and there's a possibility he might not be with someone challenging him. You think like maybe Alonso and Hamilton in McLaren days. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do in 2022. Hamilton's back for this race, so obviously Russell in the Williams, but all of next season I think we'll just be hearing about Bottas's contract, and I think there'll be news that it won't have been renewed. So watch this space. I think it'll be quite early next season we hear that Russell is in that Mercedes. So yeah, hopefully so. But what about I feel like we've got to get on to him, Sergio Perez, the race winner. Let's talk about the guy who did win the race, and another racing point and a Renault on the podium. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was amazing for them. Obviously, Sergio Perez, he's been a great driver for a long time, and really happy to see him win. He's great performance. He was there to pick up the pieces. We know it was a lucky win, but you've got to be there to get the benefits of that. And he drove really well. Ocon, surprising there to see, great second place for him, for Renault there. Done well to finish ahead of Ricciardo. We know how good a driver Ricciardo is, so that was really good there. And yeah, Stroll got third, so great race for the Racing Points. And just looking ahead in the Constructors' Championship, that should help him tie up third place now, which is, again, going to be a great achievement for him this year. So strange to see Ferrari so low down. But yeah, so like I say, the race wasn't that great, as we're saying. It's just the incidents there that made it. Let's hope the coming race, Abu Dhabi, is going to be better. As we know, the news just come out a couple of hours back. Lewis Hamilton is going to be there, is going to be racing this weekend. So looking forward to seeing him back. Always love to watch Lewis race. Russell, that means, unfortunately, we'll have to go back to Williams. But yeah, great to have Lewis back.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be really interesting to see. Obviously, he has been unwell, and hopefully he's 100%. But has this time off, just possibly giving him that extra little spark of, I want to show I'm back. I want to show I'm 100%.
It's my car. It's my car. He's going to be like,
Yeah, 100%. And I wonder if, I saw a meme that was, Lewis is back. He's going to lap the field 2-3 times. And I can honestly see that happening. I can see him putting a real statement down, and I hope he does. Real shame, obviously, for Aitken, who was driving the Williams. I thought he had a superb race, actually. He's a really top bloke. He dealt with everything really well. But I think maybe apart from testing, that'll be the last time we see him racing an F1 car, unfortunately. But I think, talking about the constructors and Ferrari, down in sixth place, and they're in no man's land. Seventh is Alfa Romeo, who I think they have like 13 points. I think they maybe have less than that. And above them is AlphaTauri, who I think have 150 odd. So they really are in this weird no man's land. It's a real shock. But it means it's given us a great battle for third and fourth. Racing Point, we should touch on that. They've had both of their drivers miss multiple races this season and have Nico Hülkenberg stand in. And they've had a 15-point deduction. And yet they're still in third place. So massive kudos to them. If you can recover from that sort of thing happening and still be ahead of a McLaren team who have been just solid all season, who have picked up podiums, and a Renault team who have been really solid all season and picked up podiums, then you deserve that third place. But, there's little battles there. McLaren or Racing Point for third, there's a 10-point gap, and then I think there's another 10-point gap between McLaren and Renault for fourth. So, it'll be a matter of qualifying, I think, and I imagine there'll be team orders. I said team orders, more team agreements coming into play. If you are faster than me, I'm going to let you by. But yeah, I think that'll be the one to watch this weekend. Will be the McLarens, the Racing Points, and the Renaults. Everyone else, the Drivers' Championship doesn't matter anymore. It's all about that prize money. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. What are your predictions? Are you sticking with how it is, or do you think it will be a different order?
No, I think Racing Point that was really important. They took a lot of points in that last race, so that sealed it for them, I think. You know, and I don't see either of McLaren or Renault overturning that. So yeah, no, as you say, great for Racing Point. Been a great season for them. They're kind of beginning all the controversy. They copied the Mercedes car, you know, the pink Mercedes, we're calling it. And it is what it is.
Love it.
It's sports. They done what they needed to do to get to where they needed to get to, and respect to them. As you were saying now, in terms of like the driver's seats as well. So we know about Albon. I think he's kind of secured that place now, but Perez really put the pressure on. Like, again, Perez is so consistent. Like, I don't know. It's a tricky one. I know you're a big fan of Albon and you think he deserves a seat. You think Max is just that's so good that he's making him look worse than he is. But Perez, I think as well, you know, would do well in that seat. What's your thoughts now? You still think Albion's the one?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's sort of going to Red Bull like, oh, you know, you guys should be giving Perez that seat. And nobody really talks about Racing Point taking that seat away from Perez at the same time. But yeah, look, I mean, Gasly, you know, failed in that car. I think, you know, in a more stable Red Bull as well. I think we need to point that out. That Red Bull last year was a lot more stable than it was this year. And Gasly really struggled. And he's had his redemption arc, you know, with AlphaTauri. And I think Albon can definitely have the same. He's a talented driver. You know, Leclerc, Russell, Norris all say how talented and amazing he is. He had great GP2 results. And he had great results last season as well. If I was team principal, I don't know how I could make that decision. I think
you have to make it.
I would pick Albon purely for one reason. I don't think Perez is going to get a seat next season. So he'll still be on the market for 2022. Also, you know Mercedes are going to dominate next season. So why would you rock the boat? You might as well see if you can get this driver who has been struggling to a point, or see, you know, really test his mettle for another season. And then if needed, you can dip into that market and pick up a Perez, you can pick up a Hülkenberg, or maybe even a Bottas at that point, like we've been saying. So I would stick with him for that reason. It's tough to say.
That's a good call. That's a good call. You know, deserves another year. You know, give him that chance, one more year, and then see the situation for 2020. So we're here now to the last race of the season. It's been a strange season, as we know. It started late. It's been condensed. It seemed like a foregone conclusion from a long time ago that Hamilton was going to be the world champion. We knew the constructors champions from, I think, after the first race. We knew the world champion as well after the first race. Well, no, Bottas.
Yeah, I think.
You know, Bottas.
Yeah, Bottas won the first race, didn't he? I think it was about 4 laps into the second race. I think maybe we all went, there we go.
Yeah. So it was a good season. Like you said, a lot of different tracks. You know, it was nice all these triple headers they had as well. You know, so a lot of action. They managed to get the season in. So well done for that. Amazing. And so down to the last race now. So looking at the weather forecast, as I was saying, this time of year we could get rain down there in the desert. But
our weather predictions every week.
Yeah, unfortunately, again, there's no rain forecast at all for this one. There's not even a small chance of what I've read, but you never know. It'd be nice if there was a bit of rain to come down, but it would obviously spice up the race, make things interesting. Never seen a wet race in Abu Dhabi, so it's not looking likely. But looking at the track, suits Hamilton. He's performed so well there many times. Suits the Mercedes. I can't look past him again. I think he's going to be on it, as you were just saying. He's just come back from his illness. He's going to want to be like, my car, I'm back. The boss is back. Like, you know, thanks, Russell. I'll let you borrow it for a while. You done well, you know, but I'm back.
Kept the seat warm, but
I'm back. I'm going to show you all for next season that I'm still the one to beat. So Bottas, obviously, is going to, as we're saying, most likely going to be his teammates. He's going to want to keep that heat on Bottas as well. So, this is my prediction again. Hamilton as winner. Second, I'm going to go for Verstappen. I just have no faith in Bottas. I was just talking about that a little bit earlier with you as well. Bottas, again, like I really feel... we know Russell's a good driver, but Bottas had a lot of advantages over him in the course of the weekend. You know, we're talking about Russell not being used to the seat, the height of the seat, the pedals, you know, over a race distance. That's very difficult for him to manage, you know. So Bottas had a lot more understanding of a car and all these advantages. He wasn't able to, he managed to just by the skin of his teeth convert it to a pole position, which was very close. But then in the race, like, just, he was no match really for Russell, you know. I thought it was quite comfortable for Russell, and that is disappointing. And like, really, I've got no faith. I just feel that he's kind of mentally gone. I think Hamilton can do that to most drivers though. Like, he's that good.
Yeah.
Continually getting beaten so badly, you know, it's understandable. So I just think he's not in a good place, and in race conditions, I've just got no faith in him. In qualifying, he could probably get. So yeah, for prediction qualifying, I'll go Hamilton pole, Bottas second, Verstappen third. Gonna be very boring with this one, right? And for the race, gonna be Hamilton first, Verstappen second, and I think Bottas will get third. So that's my predictions for the race. What about yourself?
Yeah, I think I'm going the same as you. For qualifying, I think it'll be Hamilton, Verstappen. It's easy to say Bottas, but I'm going to mix it up. Hamilton, Verstappen. Let's say I'm going to put Perez there. Actually, he's been on a roll. He's in the form of his life. Let's put Perez up there. Mercedes, pink Mercedes. So you know, why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, then the race. It's odd because I looked up the results for last season. I forgot Hamilton won the race last season, and I think maybe a lot of people did as well. But yeah, I'm going to go for that three the same. I think it'll be Hamilton, Verstappen, Perez. You know, you could maybe swap in a Ricciardo there. I'm not too sure how to play it this season. Normally, you know, the past couple of seasons, you know what the results are going to be. It'll probably be a Mercedes, a Red Bull, and a Ferrari, there or thereabouts. But these midfield teams are doing so well that yeah, I think Perez can sneak in there definitely. But yeah, just to say what you were saying about Bottas, I wonder if he's partly checked out for the season. He has been very unlucky this season, you know. He's been unlucky this season, I take the very back. But yeah, it wasn't a good look when a guy who has driven the car, yes, in testing, but a guy who doesn't fit in the car, has to wear shoes a size too small, is using paddles that are molded to someone else, nearly beats you in qualifying, and probably would have beaten you in the race. I mean, I don't know if you've listened to the radio messages with Bono. Bono had to tell Russell how to turn the car off at one point. That's the point Russell's at. So yeah, I just do wonder if Bottas is a bit like, oh, do you know what? I'm just not in the mood anymore this season. I respect Bottas for his ability to ignore the press, and I think he's maybe at that point of, I'm going to let them say what they want to say. I'm going to drive the car, and I'm going to look ahead of next season. Bottas, what version will this be? 4.0? You know, Bottas 1.0 was fine. He was a rookie in the Mercedes. 2.0 didn't win a race that season, so that was pretty bad. 3.0, yeah, didn't really do much either. So this is fourth or fifth version. So look, he's a world-class driver. He's got 9 wins.
Yeah.
But it is hard to not bash on him. But yeah, they need to look elsewhere. I think that's the be-all, end-all. I mean, mate, why not look at Perez for next season? Go on Mercedes, just do it. You know, if you can't get Russell out of the Williams, just put Perez in the seat, see what happens. But yeah, I don't know. I think as well for then the World Championships, it will be a Racing Point in third place, and then McLaren and Renault. I think it's going to stay how it is. My crazy prediction for this week, and I'm going to say it again, Williams are going to score a point. And I'm going to put the Haas in the points as well. I'm going for double stupid points predictions. I think Russell's going to get a point for some weird reason. I think he's going to be, you know, revitalised. It won't happen, but I'm going to make the prediction anyway. So yeah, what about you? Any odd predictions?
Yeah, well, you know, might get a couple of safety cars, as saying, can mix up the order like we saw in the last race. But, you know, with Russell, it's going to be a bit challenging for him, I think, as well. You know, from being in that fast Mercedes, then going back into a slow Williams, like, you know, it's going to be a bit difficult for him to motivate himself. And like, but hopefully, like I say, he'll be like, cool, I've just got to bite my time. I'm going to get one of these big seats soon. Another thing I just wanted to quickly mention before we go is it's kind of a sad one. It's Vettel leaving Ferrari now. So it's his last race. We know and it just didn't quite work out. When they first signed him, had high hopes. He did challenge a couple of times, but just couldn't get the job done. A bit of a mixture of Ferrari errors, himself as a driver making some errors as well, and the brilliance of Mercedes and Hamilton. What's your thoughts on that?
Right driver, wrong time, isn't it? I mean, Vettel was a world-class driver, but the Mercedes turned up. Vettel had that though. He was in the Red Bull. You could sort of say Alonso had something similar. He went to Ferrari, and then Red Bull became dominant. And Vettel went to Ferrari, and then Mercedes became dominant. I massively respect Vettel. People don't enough, actually, which is a bit of a shame. But 2017, 2018, that 2018 season, he could have won that. I think if that race in Germany, if he didn't go off, he would have won that season. But, we've spoken about it before. Sometimes you need some luck to win a championship. And Lewis, I will definitely say, got lucky with that race. And yeah, I really hope we see someone like the old Seb in Aston Martin. It's a huge name for them to get. It's a shame it's at the expense of Perez. A Perez-Vettel partnership would have been really cool, but Stroll's really come into his own. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. And it's just going to be very odd next season because Alonso's coming back as well. So there's going to be so many world titles on the grid. It'll be a bit mad, actually. So I'm looking forward to it, though. I have to admit, Vettel in an Aston Martin. Sainz in the Ferrari as well. I'm excited for that. I hope you are as well.
Yeah, Ricardo in the McLaren.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a completely new house lineup.
Yeah.
It could be a really exciting season actually, or it could be really awful again and just be a Mercedes win. Awful's harsh.
Yeah, I think we got to hang up for 2020 for a more competitive order. There's still, as in this season, Mercedes was so dominant, but we have had many crazy races thrown in here and there. And, some brilliant performances. Hamilton's broke so many records this year, and it's been a good season. So let's hope for the final race to be another spectacular race there. Let's hope we get a good race there, finish the season nicely. Look forward to next season. And thank you for your time, Ollie.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate that.
Cool. And for our viewers, please remember to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you.